vibe. All right. Should we start the...
Yeah, do it.
Welcome Abel to the... What do you call this again?
Well, you said it was going to be the Yapper. Yapper?
The Creative Yap.
Creative Yap? Or it's the... What did you say? The
Yappa Yappa?
Yeah, could be that.
Abel, welcome to the Creative Yap.
I don't want to be here. Go on. I felt like you were getting into the mojo of it. I was like, I just got to cut this shit now just for the sake of it.
Okay, well, fuck you.
All right, go. Scratch, go again.
Our second guest is Abel. Welcome to the Creative Yap.
Cool.
As you said before, shut the fuck up.
Done.
I should do that again. I just need a fucking intro for the edit.
So you need to do it, yeah.
Yeah.
Do it again.
Welcome Abel for... Fuck me. Welcome Abel to the Creative Yap. Guest number 2.
Dose.
Do you want to just tell us a bit about yourself? No, I should be fucking saying who you are. You are a creative person. You direct and you produce as well.
Yep.
And I used to work with you at Eucalyptus, which is a fun little time we had there together. You did all the ads for pilots, and it was like so funny.
Yeah.
I feel like you really know the humor side of stuff. And it's been really great, DPing while you directed and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And if anything, I want to talk with you creative ideas and where we're at right now.
Okay. Well, we're working on a film. That's Exhibit A. We're in the throes of it at the moment. We're 3 weeks into a 3-month pre-pro. And we're trying to basically lock in a lot of moving parts, which you know of. And it's been crazy because it's kind of like you're trying to juggle regular work and juggle this at the same time when you realize also doing a film is a full-time job and managing the chaos on both sides. I don't know how it works for you, but there's definitely not an off button where it's you might call it a day for your freelance work. And then after that, it's just kind of you're revising a script or you're sending out emails, trying to get people on board and inviting them in terms of different stages of the process, whether that be from casting, locations or whatever. But it's been cool. That's kind of where I'm at the moment. It's in limbo where it's things are moving. They could be quicker. They could also be slower, but we're just here right now. You know, that's my take on it at the moment. It's been good though. Chaotic, but good.
But so the short film, it's supposedly we're going to be shooting in
October, end of October, if not first week of November. We have a very tight deadline, which is second week of January is when we need it done because we have festivals that we're going to. And I think it's we're just pushing for that. It's a lot of availabilities of the talent, availabilities of the location, and trying to line everything up at one time to make it go. And then the deadline for post is a 6 to 8 week thing. So that's kind of, it's hard to explain because there's so many things that I have loose areas and you're trying to pull everything together to one moment. This is exactly when we're doing it. This is the timeline. But things don't work easily. It's it just doesn't work that way. So I think the best way of focusing on it right now is just getting the talent, finding their avails, and then finding the location right after that too. Because the location's another aesthetic as well. So October, November is when we're trying to go for it. So yeah.
Damn. It's also this thing of I've seen you through the first parts of it when you came up with the idea.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, Abel actually had to do a feature-length film that he had to write. And then he was you know what? Actually, no, I got this short film, which is pretty long for a short film.
Yeah.
But insane idea that kind of prefaces what we want to do for the feature-length film. Because a lot of car shots, a lot of different shots that we're trying to cast out as well.
Yeah.
And also, how important is it finding your people? Because the whole idea around this is you did such a good pre-production and you kind of have been really good on this one to delegate stuff. Mm-hmm. And what's the, you are always saying find your people and it will get done.
Yeah. I think it's it's a tough one because you need to find the people that understand the vision of what you're going for, because that also gives you an idea of what that scale is going to be, how much time investment they need to put in and what they're going to get out of it. Obviously, there's a short film, 0 budget. There's no money in this thing. So it's you have to give people an in where it's if you take this on board, whether that be DPing in your case, it's like you can fulfill a creative aspect of what you're trying to get for your reel or whatever that may be. And that's kind of how you find your people. And finding your people, it's like, I keep saying it's like a vibe check. It's like, even for the talent, no, we don't have them yet, but it's like, for me, it's a vibe check. It's like, I need them to understand that this isn't Hollywood. And it's like, we don't have a fuck ton of money. And it might be one of those ones where it's like everything fails in one moment and we all have to come together and decide this is the shot, this is how we're doing it. Everyone has to accept this is the way. And I think it's a vibe check because I think reducing the scale of it being like a huge Hollywood thing and like a film and just like we're just a bunch of kids holding a camcorder and we're making this movie. That's basically all we're doing. Zero expectations. If we fuck up, that's good because the idea is to fail forward with this film anyway. It's like find the team that works with you well and understands where they can fit in to help you. And once you have that, then it will help us with the feature film, which has been crazy to write. Like it's just hard to write a whole feature and like keep it contained within the budget. But I think for this short film, it's finding out the people, finding the concept, getting the right talent. I mean, we have a talent that we haven't like obviously offered the role yet, but that talent that we have, you can bleep this out. Most likely I want her for the role.
We're not bleeping this out, by the way.
So her name's Greg. No, I think she's going to be great for the feature film. And I can already see that playing. And I think meeting her or like finding her vibe will help me write the feature film, which is what I mean by like finding the right vibe and finding the right people, because that's not just a crew thing. It's also a talent thing. And I think for me, it's a mileage thing as well, where it's like people will go above and beyond for you just based on understanding what your vision is, understanding the drive, and if they're going to get something out of it. If everyone's in it just to like help you pull off a vision, they're not going to fucking do more than a day. They're just gonna be like, well, he just wants it his way, so you might as well kick back and just not do anything beyond that. But if you give people agency, like for your case, it's like, we wanted lenses and we're probably not going to get them. You know what I mean? And that's like, and I was like, that's what I wanted. And I was like, cool. Like at that point, you might as well. You said, we're doing it with 3. We're doing it with 3. That's it. And I was like, cool. And I think that gives you agency to pick how we shoot that as well. So I think that's basically give power to people that want to create and let them create on their terms versus your terms on a short film level, you know?
Talk lenses. Well, I guess it's like because I want to like let people know this is going to be like a preface to actually shooting it. I want to like do a 3-part when you interview. It's like the first one is like a little putty talking about like the pre-production. People can understand what it takes to make a short film. Then the middle part will be filming it, and the last part will be like after post-production and as it goes to like festival films and film festivals and all that stuff. Yeah, to kind of have a good idea of it all. But yeah, we sent a lot of emails to a lot of different brands to see if any of them would like to sponsor us, give us lenses, probe lenses, and so on. And we're like, I had a whole list of things we wanted. And I think after we sent like 10 emails, 10 different companies or 8 different companies, something like that. And they all came to us back with the idea of like, you do not have a following on social media, which is true. It's not like 3,000 followers that are like my mom, my grandma, and your like auntie that's going to make us like famous. Maybe. But yeah, and I think it's like this thing, like we pull it all back, like why are we doing this? Yeah. And also, what do we actually do need? And we were like a bit more in the idea of like, we could spend a lot of money, rent lenses and all that stuff, or we could just do with what we have and just shoot everything with 3 lenses, 3 focal lengths pretty much. And then we like did a whole day of like just testing it out, like putting on a dolly, try and see what it looks like. I don't know how you feel about it, but we kind of came out with a decision of like, let's strip it all back down to minimalism. Yeah. And if anything, it's like we always say, keep the same focal length, just bring the camera forward or backward, and that will kind of give us our defining look. Yeah. You know, if we want like a 12 mil, something really, really wide, we just come closer and it will give us a distorted look and like, oh, that's the look of the movie. Yeah. And I think that's what I really liked about like when you say like, giving everyone agency, it's like, well, hey, Max, what do you want to do with those lenses? Like, do you really think we need to like rent a lens? Like, no, actually, I want to take out lenses that I actually own already. I want to like go way more into the idea of like, 3 lenses, 3 focal length, that's it. And that's the look that I want. And you're like, yeah, let's do it. And like, then we crafted maybe like a bit more of an idea around how it would look.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's like you try and it might not go the way that you want. And then it's all about pivoting. It's like, if you don't get what you want, are you just going to stick to it and be like, I'm going to get this? There are things that are non-negotiables, but lenses are non-negotiable. Like, they're not non-negotiables, if that makes sense. It's like, it's fine. Like, we wanted probe lens. We reached out to every company that even makes a probe lens, every rental house that makes a probe lens or has one for rent. And every single one of them was like, yeah, it's going to cost us something to even get it. And it's like, well, we don't have that kind of money. And like, that was the pitch. It was like, well, we have this concept and we need it for that. And we're also selling with the idea of like a feature film. So it's like, I think the lens is not going to make the story. That's my go. It's like, if the lens tells a version of that story, a probe lens, cool. And it will tell you a version of that story, but it's not the story. And I think the story is what you find in the middle ground of like, well, we can't do it. So what are we going to do now? And I think my opinion is, the greatest moments in cinema are always the ones where a problem happens and a solution is better than the original. Jaws. They wanted to show the shark. It didn't fucking work. And then they basically cut to just water shots. And the entire film, you see the shark like a couple of times, but the imagination of what the shark looks like is more terrifying than actually seeing the shark. What was considered a problem is probably a great solution. The same thing happens on so many film sets. Like even Goodfellas. It's probably my favorite ones. It's like Scorsese wanted the talent to walk through the restaurant, right, from the front. But somehow, some way, I don't know what which is, fun fact, it was the first ever time even a Steadicam was invented for this particular shot. And they wanted to go through the front. Somehow, some way, the locations didn't let them have that. They were like, you can't, because we are an operating business or whatever. So they said, the only way we can do this is if you come through the back. So then over a course of 24 hours, they came up with an idea of like the talent walking through the back, going through the kitchen, and then ending up into the layout of the dining sequence. And in the story, it makes it seem like the character knows all the people better than just going through the front. It just seems like you have the back entrance and you understand all these people, which is why you can get through it, adding more value to the character. So coming back to this point, it's also like, sure, the probe lens works. Is it the best way to tell the story? Maybe right now. But now that we don't have it, what's the best way? And maybe that solution is better than any other option that we had or we thought of, which is, I think is great because we have a frame of how we want it to look. We also have like a style that we're going for. And I think we get to hone in that style without worrying about, does the lens match that look that we imagined? It's better to like workshop something new. Because I think you find a new creative look for a film versus like being stuck with an idea and not doing it, which is once again coming to the agency thing. It's like I think the best version is to paint with broad strokes and then get someone else with finer detail. Be like, all right, that's a broad stroke. Let's see if we can make it better. But that's what I would say.
No, I like that. I think you said it perfectly. But yeah, I wanted, like, now that you kind of talked about the fact that we are stripping down everything when it comes to like equipment, we'll have to like, of course, get like a few lights, a few things, like, and like make sure that everything works for what we need. But I think it's also this thing of like, we've been on so many sets which is like so big that any movement, any flexibility comes at a price of a lot of time. And because this is like a pilot, we're trying to make it fast, cheap, and kind of feel raw.
Yeah.
That it's like, maybe like this is a new way of doing things that is not very Hollywood.
Yeah.
But it's very new age.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that a lot. And I want to see like what is, because this is an approach for visual and technical problem solution, like problem solving. But what is the casting and how you're doing like the writing the script, the casting, the how we getting people on board, and like who is part of this crew.
Yeah, I think for the casting thing, it's once again comes down to agency. It's like even for what I've written, there is dialogue that has to say a certain way, but there's some of it's so flexible as well. So you give it to the talent and let them make it their own too. Like you have a version of the idea, but sometimes a lot of it comes down to the talent figuring out like how they want to play it, and that might be better for the film and the story you're trying to tell. Because it's like it's sometimes when you're directing, even like you might want the character to be sad, but your version of sad is different to their version of sad. So you can say sad, but it doesn't work. So then you have to let them take their version of sad and run with it. So building the team around that aspect of like, this is what I have. It's very bare bones. It's very like skeletal, and I need you to take it and run with it and like make it your version of that. So it's like, I can say green, but that can also mean turquoise. You know what I mean? I can say blue and there's so many different versions of blue, right? I still get blue, but you get your version of blue. And I think that's what I mean by like agency. It's like, just give it to the people. So building a team around that, whether that be even in casting, because we're in the process of it as well. And we're working with someone that has been an actor for like 25 years that's helping us with casting at the moment. And I think her version of the notes I've given, like I have a version of it, but she's given it as well. But she knows what to say to an actor to get what I'm after. And that might just not be the word sad. It might be something completely different. So like letting people do their work and like finding the team to do that as well, even in like the casting aspect, even in like the locations aspect, I think it's smooth sailing in that way. My opinion on it, I guess, you know?
Man, so yeah, and the final one, I guess, was location. Where are we at with that?
Well, where we at with that? Oh man, like it's just this is probably one of the harder ones because it's like obviously there's so many more moving parts. It's like everything needs to line up in one moment where it's like people's availabilities, the duration, the time, like the duration in terms of how long we can have it, the price, because we don't have a fuck ton of money. So it's like the price has to account for it, and the aesthetic. Like what is it? Like we can't just buy rent a builder home and it's just all plain white and nothing really works for us. So you're competing with a lot of things at that time. So we have a house that once again, the skeleton of it is dope as fuck. And I think we could really make that work with a lot of art and a lot of art direction and like the aesthetic of how we even shoot it. So with the location, we have a house. We got a sync on it later today. Is basically the go. Shout outs Tysa, Charlene. So we'll see what they say. And we're going to do a little prep day where we'll rent out the house about like in the next 2 weeks at least. We'll go have a field day, play some board games, we're going to do LiDAR, just record the house, see everything. And then at least then when we have a LiDAR map of the house, we can be like, we need a plant or we need something here because that's the way that this shot's going to work. So we'll probably do that in 2 weeks, go out there, see the house, and then actually shoot it in October. But thankfully we found a spot. I think it's just like finding everyone's avails and aesthetic is probably the hardest part with the location. With this particular film, because it only takes place in a house, primarily, it's tricky. It's like it's purely driven by characters and house. That's why the camera and stuff is like whatever. Like I know we started with Panavision. Well, like not Panavision, Panasonic S1H. Let's run it. I emailed them. Give me a camera. Absolutely nothing back. You know what I mean? So it's like, well, then what are we going to do? You know what I mean? We're going to just sit here with one cam. We just might as well see what we can get. So it's like constantly adapting to what we have. And thankfully, this house hasn't made us rethink the entire story. So I think that's a blessing.
No, I'm keen to kind of like close this chapter of the podcast.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like an overview of where we are at and what it kind of takes to the behind the scenes of pre-production for a short film.
Yeah.
Hopefully that becomes a feature length.
Fingers crossed, baby. We'll do a premiere. So
crossed. We know it's going to be like that. But yeah, I think it'll be nice also go back on this moment and what we talked about and see once we have done the production to see where we are at and talk about it again.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for coming.
Fuck yeah, dude. Thanks for having me. It's so funny because like as soon as the cameras end, it's like I'm not allowed to talk to you anymore because the podcast is over. Yeah.